healthy place to bring that, because even the people that love you the most can't always really understand the commitment and what it is you really do or why you do what you do. And like when you came to my office, you look at the wall and you see all of these, the accolades. It's hard for me to speak and be happy about the accolades when internally and mentally I'm always focused on how much work still has to be done and how much I still have not accomplished when it comes to lives and communities. During this pandemic, I'm trying to make the people that are responsible for our kids understand that don't even look at an individual as an individual. Look at them as an entire generation. Look at them as, when we don't save that one, we are also not saving the generations they're going to bring into this world. Or if their life is cut short, how many possibilities, how much greatness they possibly could have offered into this space that we didn't allow to flourish because we didn't show up. Especially now during this pandemic. And it's hard. It's so hard. The food giveaways, the toy giveaways, the holidays, speaking to my young people, my interns yesterday, a couple of days ago, and they were talking about Thanksgiving. One of my kids said, we don't celebrate Thanksgiving, and I'm sad about that. It makes me sad all the time. And it made me open up to her and explain to her that it makes me sad that we celebrate Thanksgiving. It makes me sad that we celebrate Christmas. Because there are so many people who go through a different kind of struggle and hurt and strife because they're not going to be able to provide for theirs the way the expectation to be provided for during those holidays. And and I explained to her that for me, knowing what it's like to be in that struggle and that feeling never leaving my core, and then despite anything I've accomplished and what my kids couldn't even fathom within my own household, it's a reality for way too many. So it's really hard for me to find that peace and that joy. So, within all of the collecting and giving, I still suffer with knowing that we did something, but we still didn't do enough. And I've been true to this commitment here for many different reasons. One, finding that next me, like the next piece of me that's going to flourish in other ways, and feeling the push and the support within this group. But then being able to have these honest and real conversations about the commitment and what it really means for us to walk within the positions that we walk in. And I can't find that anyplace else. I haven't found that anyplace else. You may have, a friend or two you get on the phone and you talk to, but not in this collective space. So for that, I'm thankful for your honesty, and it's not about, I'm sorry to put a damper on it, like you're touching those pieces, at least for me, that makes me know this is where I'm supposed to be.
And I appreciate that, April, because it's funny, when Simone texted or emailed earlier about getting on in her meeting with her parents and things like that, I think in her mind, she thought it was about her, and the reality is any one of us who were on that Zoom with her walked away feeling like, yo, this is a conversation that really needs to be had. And I think in the core of what Simone was talking to those families about today was, you got to take care of yourself. She was telling her staff, y'all got to take care of yourselves, because in turn we can't help these kids if we walking around here wounded and tired and all over the place. And so, I asked, I reached out to Simone afterwards. I was like, yo, Mo, listen, I don't want that conversation to end. I want her, to continue that conversation with us, because we get up every day with the intention to make a difference. And it always is, we're always chasing this fleeing, this finish line, that the moment we accomplish one thing, we have to take an opportunity to, celebrate it long enough for us to then say, oh, we still got more to do. We still got more to do. We still got more to do. And I get it. That's what we are made of. That's what it's about. I think, one of the things that Dame is always talking to me about and talking to us about is like, they'll record this and take pictures and everything else. And I said, sometimes it's hard, right? Because the work that we do isn't always, it isn't, you don't always have the time. You know what I'm saying? I wish I had a GoPro on my shoulder that can capture everything that we do. But the reality of it is that sometimes it just doesn't seem to be authentic. What we do every single day is real. We save lives every day. We change lives every day. And, I don't think any of us do it with the intention of being patted on the back about it or to even be celebrated. And again, we're not saying that it's right. I'm just telling you that I'm cut from that particular cloth, and I know this crew is cut from that cloth, which is we do what we got to do every single day. And I'm not here to, to build a reputation as a superhero. I'm really not. I think Raven put it on in the chat before she left, which is, even superheroes got to take off their capes every now and then. And, I am one of those people who realize that I have a hard time taking off my cape. I have a very difficult time taking off my cape. And, as I said, just being able to sit in Simone's meeting earlier was rejuvenating to me, because in the midst of that, they kept asking, who's OSG? Like, Simone, who's this? Oh, Simone made her business, let them know, like, nah, this is my crew. Like, they the ones who helped me to get through some of these tough times. And it just reminded me why we do what we do. But I also knew that Simone today thought that was about her. She might even thought it was about her parents, but it was about us, OSG, who got on there and felt like, we here for each other again. As long as we together, nobody can mess with us. Nobody can mess with us.
And in that vein, because I have to leave shortly as well, but in that vein, I just want to thank everyone from OSG who was with me the other night for my interview, because yet again it was OSG. So and he's gonna come on one day with his sister, to share some.
He was on earlier.
Yes, he was on earlier, but we didn't get a chance to speak to him. But just another partnership, potential partnership for OSG. But he was amazed, by all of you guys who were able to get on, and just the togetherness, the love, the support, the uplifting. And to be quite honest with you, I was also surprised. I mean, you know that I've known Dennis for a long time, and I've met many of you along the way. But as many of you have expressed, when you're a go-getter and you're an overachiever, oftentimes, unfortunately, you kind of find yourself doing that work alone, right? And people always say it's lonely at the top. So to be a part of OSG is really and truly a beautiful thing. It's really and truly near and dear to my heart, because now for the first time, I really don't feel alone. But to see that love in action on Tuesday night, was really and truly a beautiful thing. I thank each and every one of you. I love you all dearly, and I really just truly appreciate that. And you guys also inspire me to keep it going. I think Raven was saying earlier that this group helped her to keep focused, in the midst of the pandemic, feeling a little lazy or whatever. I was also feeling the same way. But when I look at my sisters and my brothers and I see everything you guys are doing, it really and truly inspires me to keep it going, right? And just the fact that we've established, that we're a family, that makes it so much better. So from the bottom of my heart, I just want to, really and truly thank all of you who were able to support our work, because it's our work collectively. The other night, that was that was really and truly a beautiful thing, and I love you all.
Thank you, Keith. Thank you, Keith. And like I said, I can't let Simone, off the hook with that, about how important it was for me to jump on her Zoom today with her, you got to keep in mind, that's her staff and that's her parents. For her to allow us in to be part of it was extremely, I think it was humbling. It was very, very humbling. But I realized that even as she is leading from the distance that she is, she's still leading like a real champion. And she's really telling them, like, yo, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. She had the babies on. She had the babies on there dancing. And, she was reaching out. She was reaching a lot of people today. And I was extremely proud of her. Extremely, extremely proud of her. So I couldn't let that opportunity go without saying that today I was fed by being part of something like that, to see how to take care of myself. That even if for that hour or so that I was on that Zoom with her, I took care of myself. So I appreciate that, Simone. I appreciate you, thinking enough about us to join you today. And you might have thought it was for one reason, but damn sure I can tell you.
I literally was like, yo, I got low numbers. Do you guys just mind coming on? You can leave your cameras off. I just know that I put a charge on my staff to deliver engagement weekly. And I know it's a lot, but my families need a lot. And while my staff, whether they are in the building or home or in Aruba or wherever it is that they're working from, while we are blessed to get these full checks where we could order on Amazon and somebody could deliver groceries to our doors, while we can decide that we can take a day off, my families really can't. And so they come to depend on these weekly Talk at 12s. Because, for those of them who do have to work outside of the home, they know that 12 is a break time for them, and they enjoy having their lunch and breaking with the Talk at 12. So when I saw that the numbers were low, I was like, oh, the numbers are low. Can y'all hop on? Because I know that I put a lot at stake with regards to ensuring that my staff gives a quality quality supporting our families. And, my parent coordinator, he has to maneuver between guidance counselors, social workers, 4 assistant principals, myself, and a whole host of staff because every week we have this series. And when I saw the numbers were low, I didn't want them to feel disappointed. So that was initially the reason why I said, hey, can y'all hop on? Because I got low numbers. But yes, the topic is about social emotional support and ensuring that you're taking care of you. And like Keisha, when I was talking to my therapist last week, I said, she gave me a charge which said, I charge you to disconnect totally from work during the Thanksgiving holiday. And for you, what would that look like? And I don't know about everybody else, but I am tied to my email because it's incessant. And I said, well, that would require me never to check email. What if there's a fire? What if something happened? And the bottom line is they have my phone number if something happened. And that's the reason why, superintendents and executive superintendents, this, that, and the third, somebody, if they really needed me, they absolutely can get me. And it was very hard disconnecting, but how very rewarding it was, because I didn't feel the anxiety of what's coming next. Because once we get ourselves into that mindset to expect something is coming, because, in speaking with my sister, Dr. Action, she has used that word, we have been traumatized with believing that we have to sacrifice everything about ourselves, because if we don't, then they're going to yank us out, pull the rug from under us anyway. And so I was thinking about what Anissa said. I was thinking about what my what therapist Shanita said. And I said, I'm going to disconnect. And it was the most rewarding feeling because I didn't know I could do that. And that was the first time probably in over what year is this? It's in 15 years in becoming an administrator that I disconnected from the email. So knowing that I'm telling people you have to take care of yourself, because the first place where you will start to self-destruct is your mind. That's where it begins, before the weight gain, before the heart attacks, before the strokes, before all of that. You start to self-destruct in your mind, and how that unravels then takes place physically. So the same way that we take care of ourselves, we ensure that we go to the dentist, the physical, the women's appointments. We make sure that our children always are set up for immunizations or whatever it is, but we never, especially in the Black community, we never or rarely ensure that we take care of our mental health. So it was taboo. No, you go, you speak to the pastor. No, you go speak to, the shaman, and you go speak to whoever. Back 60 years ago, you always had that uncle that lived in the attic. We don't speak about particular bipolar disorders. We don't speak about depression. If you're feeling in a dark place, if you don't feel like getting out of bed, if you don't feel like turning on the light, if you're just tired all the time, fatigued, I don't know why I feel like this, because your mind is starting to self-destruct, and those are triggers that can lead to depression. And that's why it's important, one, that in a time during like this, we do not stay apart. That's why it was powerful. When I say just the seed that was planted to ensure that we had this space, Dennis, was one of the most powerful things you probably could have done to save a principal's life. I'm telling you, we hear it all the time, whether they're 11 years old committing suicide, 40 years old committing suicide, 90 years old committing suicide. We started to self-destruct in the brain because we didn't understand the triggers. But, the devil is a liar, because God planted that seed to ensure that you were going to be there to self-destruct that plan. So just everyone who's listening, our insurance, your insurance, somebody's insurance, pays for you to talk to somebody at least 12 weeks a year. And there's nothing wrong with that. Even if you want to get a regular checkup physically to make sure that your blood and your diabetes levels or whatever it is accurate, you have got to do the same with your brain.
Simone, and I'm going to get to Keenan in a second. It's great to see Dame, who, who jumps from interview to interview, to Zoom, but, to make it his business to come, and spend time with us, with Lil Dusko with him and stuff like that. But that's one of the things that Dame has always been preaching, is about therapy, and really, really, really getting that therapy. And, I think, right now he may not need it as much, because I think Lil Dusko is the therapy that he needs. But he's been one who's always been pushing that and telling us, listen, he needs it, and he pushes everybody to get it if you need it. So, like I said, it's great to see Dame with his therapeutic, his good luck charm with him all the time now. So Dame, what's up, man? What's up, Lil Dusko?
What's happening? It's sleep. What Dennis is saying is true. I think the purpose of therapy is really understanding the unrecognized trauma. The things that you consider your normal are really stressful, and a lot of people don't have to go through them. What's up, KK? And, the thing is, everyone here is really signed on to being a superhero, which means that you get stronger when there is dysfunction. When there is a war, everyone depends on y'all to be strong. So it's like the thing about the dark room. If you're having fun, if you're doing something that makes your soul feel good, that's how you get to the light. And that's the reason why a lot of the times I always ask in our conversations, what's your selfish dream? What do you do for yourself? What do you do to disengage? Because it almost feels like you're programmed to feel that if you're not doing your job that you're getting paid for above and beyond, if you're not doing that as a lifestyle, if it's not your blood and your air and your oxygen, then you're doing something wrong. And also, the reason why, and I do understand, you're not doing it for the accolades, but doing it alone can become tiring. And what I'm really happy to say today is I've had several conversations in the last couple of days with people from Philly and other parts of the street. And they all are watching what we're doing. And the wave right now is it's cool to get in the street and help. And that was always what my intention was. You have to be able to accept help. And the reason why I say tape, number one, you should be documented. I don't care what y'all say, because no one knows what you're doing. Leading by example is the most contagious thing in the world. Making something look cool, whether it's bad or good, is the most contagious thing in the world. And what I find in OSG is y'all look really cool at what you do. You make what you do look cool. You make it look like it's something other people might want to do. So when I'm getting the calls from the hood, like I need a school to give to, they're asking me where they can help because they want to look like that. And these are the times that you have to embrace the fact that you're stronger and sharper and clearer than anyone else. And that's the reason why y'all in this position, because nobody but y'all would do what y'all doing. You're an elite group of like-minded individuals that have signed on to helping people before you help yourself. But it don't mean don't have fun. And it don't mean don't take help. One of the reasons for taping is so they can see it and so they can help. So you're not fighting alone. What's making y'all feel good is the family aspect of this. It's what makes me feel good about it. Because I can't choose my family, my blood family. I got to deal with them. This is a family I'm choosing because this is the family I want. This is the perfect family. And we want the family to grow. More like-minded people, or at least turn people into like-minded people. First call I made for Loon was to Dennis because he wanted to help. So I knew who to call. I knew he was like-minded, regardless of what he'd been through. Because there are people that go to jail and get to the religion, but don't come out trying to help and still look cool doing it. So, right now is the time. If you do feel like you're in a dark place, the fact that you're this strong should give you some light. The guilt of disengaging, don't feel that. You have to have it, because if you can't help yourself, you can't help anybody else. And a lot of things that are bothering you, you don't know that they are bothering you. So even in me having this child, because I've had children, but I was not with their mothers. I was a visiting father. I was a good visiting father. Me missing, if I would have missed this experience, I got it at 49. Nothing that I've ever done would make me feel wealthy. Now I feel wealthy. This is the wealth. This is the happiness. This is the trauma that I'm not recognizing that I don't have. How much pain it is not to be able to raise your kid. And a lot of us don't even know what's bothering us or what's not normal. It's not normal not to be able to disengage from your email for 15 years. It's not normal. But that's your normal. Worrying about people is your normal. But there's always going to be problems. And since I've had the conversation with the mayor, Patterson, I've been thinking it through so much. I'm like, I really feel bad for kids that have lazy parents because they got to deal with that. But I just don't understand in these days why adults that have choices choose to be weak rather than strong, because that is a choice for an adult. And maybe if they could recognize that trauma, they would be able to find an excuse for strength instead of an excuse for weakness. But y'all are strong. Y'all are superheroes, like it or not. You've chosen it, and now you're conscious. It's a part of you. But definitely disengage. Find your creative outlet. Like, you know, the reason why I'm so happy is because in the middle of a pandemic, I kept myself occupied in doing things I enjoyed, and by doing that, it yielded in ways that I could not have anticipated. In making myself happy, I was able to make myself strong enough to help other people. So, this is the time to be happy about your strength. This is the time to identify what's bothering you and fix it. And this is the time to understand who deserves the help and who doesn't. You know, there has to be some accountability for adults. And a lot of people think they're going to go through life conning and lying and stealing and making us feel guilty for not helping them. It's hard to identify who's really deserving of that help. But these kids, they're pure. It's not their fault. So all we could do is make sure they grow up and not blame their parents for being the same way. Blame their parents for making them better. And we just have to have them recognize that narrative. So this is the time to be that general. Y'all not soldiers, y'all generals. That's why it doesn't feel right when people tell you what to do and you know it's not right. So you go and do what you need to do on your own because you're a boss. It don't sit well with you to be told what to do by someone that's not a boss, especially when they're telling you the wrong stuff. And then they got you sitting around in limbo waiting to be told and they don't even have an answer. So you get on this Zoom and someone like Dennis and all of y'all had predicted the future time and time again based on logic, and still, when it happens, no one's prepared, and we're the only ones that are going to take any kind of action at all, above and beyond what they get paid for. So that's, you know, that's the world you live in. That's why I just say you might as well be rich while you're doing it. And that's also why my agenda is to make sure everyone benefits financially, because economic empowerment will break all this. And, you know, I appreciate being able to be a part of this. And yeah, the reason why I will jump from an interview to this is because I don't want to miss nothing. I want to learn. Selfish. I'm sorry. But every time I peep in, I'm like, oh, now I know what else we need to deal with. Now I make myself better. Now, when I'm smoking a joint and drinking and everyone thinks I'm a hot mess, I say something completely smart and accurate, and they got to be like, he's right. I hate to hear it from the high guy, but I got the information straight from the source. I like being smart about shit I know. And when I hear things here, I know things because I'm seeing it. You know? Some people are out acting like they want to do shit, and what they would do if they get this, that, and the third, elected, this, and then they're not doing nothing but talking about themselves. And can you answer this, please? Nicolette. You know what I'm saying? But here, we talk about it, we do it, and then we talk about what we did, and then we talk about what we're going to do. Just celebrate your wins. Got to celebrate those wins. That's what keeps you happy. I celebrate everything. You know I'm celebrating this forever. This is the biggest win, but I celebrate every little win. So that's what you got to do. Don't be humble. I know y'all want to be. Celebrate those W's. Thank you.
This is McClary. Can I say something about King Dennis?
Go ahead. I mean, I don't mind. Please.
Dennis, you still on? Is Dennis still on?
Yeah, I'm here, McClary. McClary.
Yeah, I'm Harlem, but I wanted to salute the King Dennis really for, you know, really having this divine vision to do this. I'm from Harlem. I'm from Lenox Avenue, so I always felt like I'm good because I already have my people to make sure that I was a good, you know, to do what I wanted to do. But I just want to make this point. When I quit the opportunity to teach, I put in $1 million to start this nonprofit with my mentor. And I'm from Harlem. And I promise you, I was telling people I'll pay you so I could talk to Mr. Dame Dash. 5,000, 10,000 for 15 years, and nobody made it happen. And when I saw y'all for months, I figured out, the hustle, how to get to whoever the person was. And I just sent one message. Dennis called me right back and had met with me right back. And then I said to Dennis, because I wasn't going to even say this, but the feeling of this meeting. And I told Dennis, I want to be private. I'm from Harlem, you don't talk. And so I said, Dennis, I'll give you whatever you want. I said, if we can make what my vision is for the kids academically to make Damon Dash into a literature math workbook, I said, I'll give you whatever you want. And the first thing he said, I don't want no money. I don't want nothing. I said, no, I want to give you 10% of everything.
Yeah.
And instantly, and I've been telling many people, and I can't call names because Mr. Dash know the people, but I'm telling you, 15 years. And with one message, one phone call, he instantly did that. Like, I lost everything doing this nonprofit. And to have that moment was just a miracle. And it helped me mentally because I knew that this was a vision that I needed to do. And Mr. Dash, I know you don't know me, but I'm from 29th for Lenox, and I always knew you. And I knew that quitting and doing my own thing, I learned from him, and he doesn't realize that. But Mr. Dash, I call him my private tutor in one of the books that I wrote. And I went to one of his class, and he taught me over 20 years ago how to maneuver and create this company. So I don't mean to really take your time, but, King Dennis, it's so many great miracle things that can transpire from here. And mentally, it just made my heart so glad. And I told everybody, I literally talked to Mr. Dash because of Dennis. And I just wanted to salute you. I'm private, but I definitely wanted to say that to you.
Thank you, McClarty. I appreciate that so much. And the good thing about it, I think Simone was able to drag you out a couple of days ago. So we do know you are a real person, so Simone, definitely, we want to shout out Simone for that. But no, McClarty, thank you. What you've shown us was that by any means necessary, that you were going to get your dreams fulfilled. And I think that's what Dame has been talking about. And that's having those selfish desires and things like that. But, I appreciate you for sharing that. And, again, you family, you know what I mean? So anything I could do to support you, it's going to happen. So thank you again, McClarty. Kanan, I know you on here, and I know you wanted to say something real quick. Kanan, you on here?
Yeah, I'm still. What's going on, man? So my name is Kanan. I'm a college student. I'm originally from Oklahoma, but my mom works in higher education, so I moved around a lot. But I happened to come across this flyer on social media, and after seeing what you guys did for Thanksgiving and just hearing the stories that you guys shared, you speaking of the whole suicide thing, I recently lost somebody to that. So I'm just saying all this to say I'm really glad and thankful to hear, like Dame was saying, like-minded people that are empathetic and they shape their lives around caring for other people. And that's really rare. You don't really see that too much, especially in the Black community. You find a lot of crab in a barrel type people, and to see on this platform that isn't what it is whatsoever. And like I said, I'm a college student, I'm real young, so it's like you don't really get these type of opportunities to hear people have these type of conversations and just be, like how you guys were saying, superhero and changing people's lives in every day. So I just want to thank y'all for that.
Yo, Kanan, listen, I expect to see you every Thursday, bro. Use that. So again, that's the same thing that McClarty just discussed, right? You found us on social media and you came through, right? So don't miss the opportunity, man. We do this every Thursday. You know what I mean? But it's a lifestyle for us now. This is what we do. And, the fact that you, again, thought enough of it to say, you know what? He posted up there. Let me jump on. It speaks volumes to the type of guy you are. So you've been on there from early. You've been on there damn near 2.5 hours. You've been on for a minute.
I was there for a minute. I ain't gonna front. I was there for a minute.
You was on there for a minute. So now, man, I appreciate you coming through for that. And I think this is only the beginning for you. So, our doors aren't closed for that. You know what I mean? We here Thursday. This is our meetup. If you want something, we here to help. You got what I'm saying?
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. So I mean, listen, you got my information off of IG. Just send me a number and stuff like that, and I'll stay in touch with you.
For sure.
And Dennis, can we ask what the young man is studying and what he's studying at?
Yes, bro.
Yeah, so I currently go to Middle Tennessee State University. I transferred from Lincoln University to HBCU near Philly.
Wait. Did you say you transferred from Lincoln University?
Yeah.
But and how old are you?
So I'm 21.
Okay, so yeah, he knows Chris.
So I remember. I couldn't hear you.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead, sweetheart.
Yeah, so I transferred to MTSU because Lincoln didn't have the program I was looking for. I'm a recording industry student. I didn't want to leave because going from an HBC to a PWI, I was real skeptical, and I'm in the South. But so far, it's been pretty good. And most people know my school because that's where Tay Keith graduated from recently. But to answer your question.
Oh, nice. I'm just always interested in what young people out here studying. Because it's very important. And outside of your studies, what are you involved of in terms of organizations and things, if any?
So at MTSU, I'm currently NAACP. I was a member of National Society of Black Engineers, but because I switched my major from IT, I'm no longer part of that. But like I said, my mom works in higher education, so her job is she's the director of diversity programs of engineering at Cornell, and so she recruits people that look just like us to come to that school, and she's been doing that since I was real little. And so that's what kind of got me involved in NSB and a lot of different bunch of organizations. But now at my current school, outside of that, my best friend and I, with the help of my mom, I run this publication called Double I Magazine. There's a street culture mag that covers music, fashion, sports, and everything in between. And the mission behind the magazine is to inspire upcoming creatives and giving them relatable content through a platform where they can also share.
Do I hear you, Kanan? Do I hear you saying you're going to do an article on OSG? Is that what I hear?
I mean, we can set something up. I just
thought I heard you say that. I thought I heard you say that, which is, what I experienced today needs to go in another magazine. So I'm going to get in touch with you, and we're going to talk about OSG, right? That's what you said?
That's a fact.
My man, I appreciate that. So,
King, I got a question for you. What are you particularly studying in the recording industry? What are you trying to study?
So it's a concentration in music songwriting. Originally, I came in as an audio production major, but it's extremely technical, so I switched over. I'm currently minoring as marketing as well.
So stick around. You got some real G's in here, and obviously you see Dame Dash in here, and we've all had a lot of years in this, so there's a lot of tips and information we can sort of pass you, get you through a lot of this stuff, give you a couple of cheat codes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Well, but listen, before I pass it over to our girl Fia, I just want, Dame, you might as well. I mean, there's no secrets now. Come on, Dame wants to stunt.
Well,
but what's I think most important to me.
This guy.
What I think is most important to me is that Dame himself has really taken this OSG thing to heart, and that man has an OSG hoodie on. He had OSG socks earlier. But Dame, come on, man, show us what you got on your wrist.
My merch game is different. The OSG is.
Come on, you gotta make some noise, Dame, so people can see.
Y'all see me? Can y'all see?
This dude here.
Annie up.
Come on, Dame.
OSG championship.
What is that? What are those three initials?
My eyes hurt. It's blinding me.
Yeah, those are all VVS. Yep.
There you go, man.
Side joint.
What I think, once you get beyond
My merch game different. My merch game is different.
Listen, you realize that it's bigger than that. And I think any man who's willing to do what Dame does for OSG, I mean, he's deserving of that type of accolade. So, for him to stunt on his heart by getting the OSG ring with diamonds all in it, again, that's a credit to us. That's a credit to us. And we doing something dope. Because Dame ain't gonna do it if it wasn't dope. So I appreciate him for stunting that hard on us. Real time. Real. Go ahead, one more time, Dame.
We'll get there.
See that, y'all? Yeah. So all I'm saying, Dame, here's what you got to do, Dame. The one promise I have. I need you to make one promise to me, Dame.
What's that?
Can you hear me, Dame?
I can hear you.
Hey, Dame.
I can hear you.
Pop, you on mute, Pop.
Yeah,
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah. All right. So, Dame, I need you to do me a favor, though, right? You know, you and the mayor need to have a conversation soon, all right? Because
Yes, anytime. I love talking to the mayor.
yeah, the mayor needs to. She needs to wear that in her next press conference.
Okay, let's
All
go.
right, so either you send that one or you get her.
This was tailor made for one finger, but we could tailor make one for her finger.
There you go. See that, y'all? I appreciate that, Dave. Thanks for stunting, bro. My eyes hurt now. Thanks.
Well, I just think that, you know, doing good should look good. It's aspirational, you know, and it's like, to me, I remember giving out Rockefeller chains and what it meant, and I know what these rings mean, and this holds a little more weight to me right now. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm proud of something, I want to wear it. I want it to shine. It should be aspirational. And, you know, a kid that would respect what a hustler looks like or a drug dealer, he ain't flyer than me. He ain't flyer than nobody that's wearing OSG. Ain't no drug dealer, ain't no rapper, ain't no athlete flyer than this. Because they could buy the jury, but it won't mean the same. It won't mean. It doesn't mean you did it. You could look OSG, but you got to be OSG. You know what I'm saying? So I like to shine, and I think everyone else should.
So like you say, Dame, there's difference between style and substance.
Absolutely.
People can have style and be fly, but that doesn't mean that they have substance.
Absolutely. Some people are bottle service.
Over style, we'll say substance with style.
Substance with style. We're not bottle service. You know, we sit in the same place for free because of our swag, not because of the cash, but we still look good as anybody else, and way more wealthier because we're doing things that are priceless. You know, you can't buy this kind of love. You can only give it.
Well, since we talk about love, Fia, come on, Fia. You close us out of here, Fia. As only you can, girl.
Good evening, everyone. So Dennis, I was gonna text you. I'm like, you want commentary? What you want?
I want you to do what you do.
So, a couple of things are running through my mind. First, most of you know that I came to my new role as deputy superintendent during the midst of the pandemic, connected to OSG, reached out to Dennis a couple weeks in, and I had questions. What made you decide to jump out the window and leave your principalship and go into consulting? Because I was a principal who also did consulting work. And we talked a lot, and I talked with some of my OSG sisters here about making the decision, because I feel called to district leadership. Like God says in His Word, He told me He had more work for me to do over there. And today, as I listen to principals say that they find rest, like this is their place of peace, on my schedule in the midst of being accountable for half of 37,000 is a 4 o'clock OSG meetup on Thursdays on my professional schedule. So that if anyone looks to call me to a meeting, and sometimes I get pulled, but it is such a priority for me to feed my soul and to be with my tribe and to find myself with my people. So thank you, Dennis, for the vision, but thank all of you for the family and the fellowship. I am truly grateful. And the last piece about self-care, it dawned on me to be an active participant in my health in the last few months. And I see you with clarity. All right, Albany. To be an active participant in the pursuit of good health. And so I thought about wanting to not feel rushed about OSG. I usually work out at 6 on Thursdays. I got up early after I listened to Uncle Lay's and got myself out of bed and did my workout at the top of the day so that I could relax and be present and be with all of you. So self-care for us, because we are servant leaders, and it is our nature to give, and we forget that on the plane they say put your oxygen mask on first, and that's so that you don't pass out while you try to save the baby. So just remember to put your oxygen mask on first, to take care of yourself, to love on yourself as hard as you love on and pour into everyone else, because you know you walk in your calling and you serve in your profession and in your commitment, but if you drop dead, somebody has to step into your shoes. So you better take care of you, because the people closest to you need you here and need you now. So God bless you all. Thank you for creating the time and space, and for talking about OSG and representing us and making us look so fly. And Dame, I see you Harlem stunting in that ring. You got an OSG Super Bowl ring. Really?
Really? We the champions.
Super Bowl ring.
We the champions.
Come back in the camp.
Okay, he got an OSG Super Bowl ring. Okay?
And
Stunting.
I think y'all all should have one.
So, you know, Harlem got to come up and be like, just to be like, you ain't up on this. Okay?
That's right, Harlem.
She decided.
Here come the clarity.
You can't even be mad. Look, you can't even be mad at Dame for that. You know what I'm saying?
No.
You can't even be mad at him.
No.
Not at all. You know what they say, right? They say everybody wants to be New York, and the whole New York wants to be like in Harlem. You can't front on that.
You can't. We do things different. We do things different.
I'm from Brooklyn. I ride with a lot of y'all. I know what it is.
Hey, Dame.
I wasn't one of those guys.
Unmute yourself, Dame. Before you go, before you go, so next week, I asked Melody to join us from the commission. She's gonna come through next Thursday. We're gonna have a conversation about suicide. Things like that. So she's looking real. She's really looking forward to that. So
yeah,
I want you to know the commission is still clicking on all cylinders.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, my uncle killed himself out of left field. I don't know how it happened. I had to see his brains blown out. Me and my son, nuts. And they said that depression is killing more people than COVID right now. You know, so I guess it's just, again, you got to identify that dark room and then get to the bright room. But you got to do it, and we got to show people how. Recognizing triggers is important. Recognizing triggers and eliminating triggers is everything. But, you know, people have to respect your boundaries. They got to respect your triggers. And if they don't, then they're not respecting your world, or they're not healthy, you know? So that's been a big key to my success as far as being around people. Again, none of y'all trigger me on any level. What y'all do trigger is my imagination and the visualization of us winning big by helping people as well as helping ourselves and looking good while we do it.
I don't trigger you.
Not at all. You actually, you actually make me smile.
That's the trigger, my dear.
Then keep pulling it then. All good.
Can I
hopefully I triggered y'all. This is a trigger right here, I hope.
A whole Super Bowl ring. Yes, Dave. We see you.
Okay, that's real now. All right, well.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, you know, I had to step out. We had our Christmas tree lighting, so I was out there with my babies. But when I came back, y'all were talking about depression, anxiety. And one of the things that we have taken pride in is being called that strong black woman. We have to be careful about that. Because being a strong black woman will kill you. It will cause you to lose your life. It will cause you to lose your mind, your family, your friends, your sense of self. We have to learn and get to a place where we understand the importance of putting down our cape. There are days that we have to stand tall even when we're broken. Like yesterday was a very interesting day for me. I was in my office crying. You know, I've been working all day, and about 5:40, I had a moment to myself. And so much has been happening, I just kind of burst out in tears. And my friend called me at the same time, and I answered the phone, and I couldn't believe I answered the phone in the midst of a moment. But I did answer the phone, and I was just talking to him, and, you know, I just shared with him where I wasn't in that moment. And then all of a sudden it was crazy because my phone kept beeping, and you could see all these text messages coming through. And our call got dropped, and I was still crying, and I looked at my phone, and I'm looking at my text messages, and I'm seeing all of this congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. And I'm like, what happened? And then I scroll back up and there's a picture of me saying Mayor of the Month. And I'm like, I am sitting in the corner in my office crying, feeling defeated, stressed, stretched, overwhelmed, you know, and all of that for the moment. Because that's what we use those words. Oh, I'm stressed, I'm stretched, I'm overwhelmed, I'm saturated. You know, we get to a point where we don't understand that no is a complete sentence. We'll say no, but then someone will say something and we'll go, but. Remember that anything after that but negates your no.
Yeah.
No, but I'll try, but I can't today, but maybe tomorrow, but next week, but okay, if you put it that way. Sometimes you just have to get to a place of no. You have to get to a place of no, because if you don't learn how to stop yourself, and you know, for me, this is no easy thing, because I'm the person who has bragged, oh, I haven't taken a vacation in 5 years, or you know, I haven't taken a day off since February of 2019 when I announced my candidacy, and I hit a wall, I hit a brick wall, and I had no choice but to take like 3 days. I didn't feel like I could take a day off, but then my body caused me not to be able to make that choice for itself, and I had to stop. I had to stop. I've looked at people around me in the last few weeks have heart attacks, my contemporaries, strokes, you know, sitting with a lot of my female counterparts who are CEOs or in business and leadership in one place or another, and they're at the place where they're taking medication. And there's no shame in medication, because if you got high blood pressure, I don't know if anyone in here has high blood pressure. If you have high blood pressure, do you take medication? If you have diabetes, are you taking insulin? Because you need insulin once your body has run out of making insulin on its own. And sometimes when you are a person who is type A, high level, constantly on the go, your body runs out of that adrenaline. Your body runs out of the chemicals that it needs to stay balanced. And sometimes you need them to replace them. Now, I'm a Christian, and you know, I know that the blood still prevails. But if you get medication, and we could say medication ain't for us, for black people, look, pray over your medication, believe God, trust him, and do what you got to do. Because there's nothing cute about waking up every morning at 2 o'clock in the morning going, and you can't sleep. And your mind racing and your heart racing, and you can't go back to sleep until it's 5:30, 6 o'clock time for you to get up and go out. And you're suffering from sleep deprivation, because when you don't sleep, your blood pressure goes up. You start dealing with blood pressure issues, we'll deal with diabetes issues. Diabetes and high blood pressure does not have to be a rite of passage. But if we don't find a way to take care of ourselves and balance ourselves out, and we try and keep up with everyone, and we try and keep the face on for everyone, that mask will eventually crack. And it will crack in a place that is very inconvenient for it to crack at that time. So don't put yourself in that position. Love yourself enough, and get yourself around people who are going to love you enough to tell you when it's time to stop. And then when you place those people around you, listen to them. Listen to them. We have to be a good example for each other. We have to learn when the road, there's times where you don't have an option. You don't have the luxury of stopping, but that's not every day. And if it is every day, then that means you're a poor leader. That means you have not built the capacity of those people who are around you to support you and do things. That means you are a poor leader. If you are the only person who can do it, if you're the only person who shows up, if you're the only person who has the skill set and the connections, then you have not created leaders. You have created followers and people who are maggots and leeches who are around you, and you need to either get rid of them or bring in someone around you to help you develop your people. There's nothing great about being so great that everyone around you is weak. And so, you know, that's very rarely the case, but that is the pressure that we put on ourselves. And you have to love yourself, and you have to protect yourself, and you have to invest in yourself enough, like Dane said, to know when to disconnect. I put on my Facebook page a few weeks ago, disconnect to reconnect. And sometimes that's what you have to do. You have to disconnect from the TV, from the phone, from the internet, from everyone who has access to you, so that you can take out a moment to reconnect with yourself, reconnect with your faith, reconnect with your family. Because oftentimes as we're out here saving everyone, the babies, the community, it's our families and it's ourselves that we are denying and that we are taking for granted the most. So yes, it's great to be applauded by everyone around you. But when you get into that quiet room, and if you can't have any peace and you don't have any rest and you're by yourself, then you got to figure out a different way to handle it. So in order for us to have the strength, the power, the energy, and the passion that we have to go out and serve, we have to take time to recharge. I charge my cell phone like 2 to 3 times a day because it gets down to like 0. But how often are you taking out a moment to recharge your body? If you are charging your phone over and over and over again and you haven't taken a 10-minute power nap somewhere in the day, or a moment just to, I got my sound bar behind me because I got music, I got my candles, you know, I'm doing what I got to do to take care of myself. I got my Bible, it's right here next to me. So we got to do what we have to do sometime in the day. I pull 15, 17-hour days on a regular basis. I don't know what it looks like to be much shorter than that, but I'm learning how in the middle of that day to take out a moment for me. Because if I don't take out a moment for me, my body's going to take it from me and it's not going to be in my control. And you don't want that to happen to you. So everybody, please, let's not try and impress with each other with how quick and how far and how long and how many hours we could do and how many places we can be. You know what your body can take, you know what your body can handle, and give your body what it needs just as much. Be kind to yourself. Stop being so kind to everyone else and take out a moment to be kind to yourself and love yourself enough to take care of yourself. Because everybody, my aunt was National Jack and Jill president, International Jack and Jill president. She was a school principal. She founded a Links chapter in this region. Ebony's 50 most Black influential people running back and forth to the White House. You know, and AKA, she did everything. She was a college dean, and she did all of this at the same time. And I watched her die at the age of 45 and leave 2 girls in high school behind her. And I saw people come through her 26-room house, old P.T. Barnum mansion, and they came through with furs and jewelry and dripping. And they were like, ooh, it's so sad that she's gone. And her funeral was written up in Our Kind of Folks, which was a bougie thing. And she had a funeral at Grace Baptist Church with thousands and everybody was there. But guess what? She left them babies and they were traumatized. And when she passed on, somebody else became principal. Somebody else became the dean. Someone took over the chapter, the AKAs and the links, you know, and everybody took her positions. It might have been multiple people, but life went on for everyone else while she laid in her grave and her family lay grieving. So people tell me oftentimes I'm just like her, and that used to make me proud, but then it started to make me scared because I didn't want to lose my life for giving it to everyone else. So please take care of yourselves. Because depression is real and anxiety is real, and a lot of that is also tied to us sleep and just overcommitting and overstretching ourselves. Please take care of yourselves.
I think that is the best place to kind of probably get ready for all of us to say thank you for being here. I mean, yes, I did think it was about the numbers earlier, Dennis, and I'm grateful that those of you who were able to join received, and were healed in whatever capacity that God intended you guys for during that hour. So again, thank you. Thank you to everybody who is still here with us. Thank you for those of you who had to log off earlier. I'm looking at myself because Dame is live, and it's really funny. I'm looking at myself on Dame's live. So thank you for those of you who are following Disco Poppington so that you too can also receive these gems and these jewels about what is so important for self-care. But just know that if you ever think that someone is not listening, God is always listening. God is always there with you. And he also sends people around you. And at least for me, for those angels, that's that 3-letter hashtag known as OSG. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for loving one another. Please do not forget to love on yourselves. And, I don't know if we're going out with additional house music, but if not, we could do the no music. And then tell everybody that we will see you again next week, Thursday.
OSG.
Same bad time, same bad channel. We come in at 3:30 because DJ Uncle Lays is spinning at that time. Dame, you know, don't kill him with the shine.
OSG.
OSG.
OSG. OSG.
That's right. That's right. You know, stun on them, baby. And everybody, if you're staying for the after party, okay, great. I need to take a break, however, because I have been in this chair for a while, so I got to self-care my body. KK, we love you, baby. See you another time.
Hey guys, so check one more time. I put in the chat. Melody JC, go follow her. She's amazing. She's a tremendous therapist. She's going to join us next week, so please follow her so that you know what she's about.
If you want another amazing video with the one and only Dame Dash, check it out right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.